Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to yet another video. Today's video I didn't really want to make, but I feel like I need to because I'm stuck in a situation and I'm looking for help from my subscribers and my viewers. Basically, my e46 has a major problem and your BMW could have the same exact issue as well. Thought maybe it's time to make the video. Not necessarily I want to, but I need to sit down with you guys and I'm looking for some advice on what to do with my e46 as it is in a pretty bad state right now. I'll go over what basically happened and what's going on with the car, and then I'll show you the issue, and just looking for some help or guidance on what I should actually do, as well as make you guys aware of some of the issues that you could run into with your e46. With that being said, let's jump straight into today's video. I have a weak jack point on the passenger rear side of the car. This happened probably, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. I went to jack up the car and I felt myself going through, and I stopped jacking up the car and I realized, oh crap, I have a rotted out jack point. And I was like, okay, this isn't the end of the world. I can probably have someone cut and weld it. Well, fast forward to when I was painting the car, I actually took off the side skirt and realized how bad the rot actually is. And I'm not even going to call it rut. I'm not even going to call it rust. I want to call it rot. It is pretty bad. It is now affecting the floor pan, which you couldn't see because of the side skirt was holding it in. And yes, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit, why did I paint the car? I don't know. Honestly, I thought it wasn't that bad. I thought it was something I could paint the car in the summer and then in the winter bring it in to have fixed. But as I'll show you guys in a minute, and I'll throw some pictures on the screen, it is pretty severe. I brought it to a shop and the shop basically said junk it and sell the motor. And that was, my heart sank. Like, hearing that after everything I've done to this car, and this car being my father's and all, and something I've wanted to keep for the rest of my life, or at least I thought I was going to keep it for the rest of my life. Hearing that, it really just made my heart drop, and I was just in a bad mood for probably a few days after, just saying, what do I do? Do I sell the car? Like, I don't want to sell the car, and I wouldn't even want to sell the car because whoever got this car, one, is getting a piece of crap. Ideally, I'd like to fix it, but it is pretty bad, so I'll show you guys that right now, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So from the outside, it really doesn't look that bad. There's just this one spot right there that I'll zoom in a second. If I zoom in, there's that one spot right there that you can see. But as you can see, there's stuff hanging down, and I know just the edges are starting to rust, and you can see the jack points pushed in, and it's bad. I'll throw some pictures up on the screen. I know you can't see the best view, maybe that helps, but it is not good. And unfortunately, it goes up to here and almost, it doesn't really go into the quarter panel. And as many of you know, I've had the quarter panels on this car already replaced. And the reason why this happened was because the quarter panel was replaced by someone that didn't know what they were doing. So they replaced this whole quarter already and they chopped it somewhere up here. And that's why basically water sat in this and ran down. And that's why I'm having such a bad issue. You can see right here, it's just, none of this is hard. All this is just turned, this is rust right here, but under it, as you can see, is all rot. And hopefully that gives you a better view. I'll throw some pictures on the screen just so you can see, but it's really not looking good. I brought my phone's light out, so hopefully you guys can see. Again, it's kind of hard to tell, but hopefully the pictures show you guys, but it's really not good, and it's starting to go into the floor pan, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Like I said, I'd classify this as rot now. So in addition to the rot that I just showed you, I'll throw some pictures up on the screen, and you're probably like, all right, cool, Evan, thanks for telling us. We know e46 have rust issues. Yes, and that's why another reason I was like, okay, maybe I should make this video. You really need to be careful on the e46 that you buy, because rust is a major component that kills these cars. The rest of the car isn't too bad. There is another spot actually where the crash bar mounts in that is going to need to be cut and sectioned as well, but that's nothing. That's not a lot of work. I'm more concerned about the integrity of the car, and as that you can see the rocker panel's all messed up. The floor pan would need to be replaced. It really just, it's a lot of work, and I'd have to find a donor e46 as well. That's something that I would need to be able to repair this correctly. So I don't know what to do. Like I said, I did bring it to a shop. The shop initially didn't really want any business helping me with it, but he kind of, once I told him I could potentially get that section and bring it to him and he could weld it in and stuff like that, he's like, all right, and we're looking at about $2,000 to have that replaced. Which, you say $2,000, okay, what else are you gonna run into? I know, as anyone knows with these cars or any sort of repair job, is you always find more work that needs to be done. The price always increases. It happened with my quarter panel. They found more underlying rust, and again, it really matters who you bring your car to. Someone did an awful jank job on replacing the quarter panel on that side, and that is exactly why it looks like that, just due to poor craftsmanship of whoever did it initially. I want to keep this car so bad, but at the same time, it's like I'm putting all this money into something that will never be perfect. That will never be fixed 100%. There's other issues. If this car had to have a new quarter, like what else is wrong? And basically, I wish when I bought this car, or rather I picked out the car on my own, I went to get it, but ultimately my dad bought it and he was driving around as kind of a project car that we were working on. I didn't know, and I really wish I did know more when I bought this car, because I probably wouldn't have bought this car just because of all of the issues that it has. Fixing things is one thing, but bodywork, rust, and again, rot is another thing, and it can really just kill a car. And I'm really confused on what to do. Should I sell this car, buy an M3, or do I just suck it up, have them fix it, and hope that it's going to be sufficient enough? And again, is it ever going to be perfect? No, and I've kind of accepted that this car is not going to be perfect, but it'll always hold a special place in my heart, and I think that's why I want to put the money into it, to have it fixed and get it done right. But I don't know, I'm really just looking for some help from my subscribers, my viewers. If you know anyone in Massachusetts that does body work, not even body work, I'd call this fabrication work, or you yourself do fabrication work, comment down below. I'm looking to hear what anyone has to say. And I'm also making this video so you guys know not to go out and buy a car like this. Inspect body gaps, make sure that the jack points are all right. I mean, one day I randomly, I think it was actually the day I went to put on my 135, my style 135 wheels, I jacked up the car and I was like, I heard crunching and I was like, oh no, this isn't good. I instantly put the car back down, and from that day I've never used that jack point, just because I knew it was really sketchy. And I don't know, I just didn't think it was that bad, and stupid me, like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm learning as I go. Stupid me, I feel like I shouldn't have painted the car. Yes, it was an awesome project. Yes, we learned a lot, but like at the same time, look at the car, I still have this to fix, and even if I may not even be able to fix it. And ideally, you'd want to cut it from all the way at the front, all the way at the back, one whole rocker panel put in, as well as floor pan, and have it all welded together, and then sprayed over with some seam sealer, and just make sure everything is 100% structural. And again, alignment is key. Your side skirts line, your side skirts bolt, or not bolt, but they mount up into that area. So alignment is very, very important when putting that back together. So yeah, that's really all I have for today's video. If you guys have any suggestions, anything like that, drop them down below in the comments. Also, please use my affiliate links. I'm going to need the help on being able to afford to have this fixed, or potentially buy another e46, because I'm not living without an e46 in my life. They're just too great of a car, and I absolutely love it. And I still love driving around this car, even with its issues. I know I need to fix the ABS pump went, and I need to redo the brakes. I even have a very special surprise coming in for the brakes for this. I don't mind that, because that's all stuff that you can fix, and you can replace it with new parts, and it's good to go. This, it's like a band-aid. Rust is like cancer, and in this case, rot is like stage 4 aggressive cancer. It's just, it's not a fun situation, and there's not a really good way of fixing it. You can't, it's not like you can just unbolt the part and bolt the new one in. It's a unibody car, and it's just a lot. So that is all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you go out and check your e46, or check any car that you are going to buy, and make sure it has not had any shitty bodywork like this car has, because ultimately, years down the line, it's going to look great in the beginning, but years down the line, you're going to come back and be like, damn, this is messed up, and it's just going to be a huge headache. I've already spent a lot of money on having the quarter panels fixed, because that is a common issue, and I thought that was it. Now finding out how bad this jack point is, yes, I should have maybe went a different route than painting, and maybe I should have done some other things, but there's nothing you can do. I mean, I made a mistake, I'm learning, so bear with me, I'm human, I'm trying to get through this. So let me know what you guys think, I'd love to hear it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.